Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about astrology, numerology, and all things spiritual and metaphysical. I've got a new camera and I'm figuring out the mechanics of it, and apparently I had it on like no microphone and in like slow mode. So not only the whole 20 minutes that I took talking to you guys, you can't hear it, but it's in slow mode. Tell me how. And already one battery died when I tried to do this the first go round, and then the second go round I just completely mucked it up. So here we are. Libra, specifically Libra suns. This is like the Libra archetype, so you can gain very much information from this video. You don't have to be a Libra sun to watch it. You could be a Libra moon, Mercury, Venus, rising, Mars. You could be any of those. So I live in the northern hemisphere, and that is the atmosphere that I'm going to be talking about today when I say that Libra season begins the fall, because in the southern hemisphere, Libra season begins the spring. Approximately, and I say approximately because depending on leap years and other things, Libra season changes. Approximately, Libra season starts on September 23rd and ends on October 22nd. It begins the fall. It is the start of autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. And fun fact, the word equinox, equi meaning equal and nox meaning night in Latin. Interesting, right? The Earth's axis and orbit line up during the autumn equinox so that the sun shines equally on both hemispheres, resulting in equal day and night. Libra is a cardinal air sign ruled by the planet Venus. It is the 7th zodiac sign in the zodiacal order, opposite to Aries, which is the first zodiac sign, and its symbol is the scales. It is the only zodiac sign that is not a living being. It is represented by an inanimate object, the scales. Egyptians used to use the glyph for Libra as a representation of the setting sun. The Libra glyph could also mean approximately equal to, comparison to. The scales is a symbol for weighing or comparing two different things. Is a symbol for balance and fairness, equality and or justice. Some things that are associated with Libra are artwork of all forms, museums, jewelry, fashion, perfume, shopping, chocolate, flowers, specifically roses and other flowers, but roses for sure, clothing, balance, harmony, beauty, aestheticism, justice, diplomacy, partnerships of all kinds, platonic and romantic, love, marriage, culture even, grace and refinement. These items and concepts are most important to Libra. Libra's planetary ruler being Venus, the planet of love, romance, beauty, the planet of sensual pleasures, luxury, money, the finer things in life. It's the planet of your tastes, your style, your social abilities. It's the planet of positive social interactions. Venus in your natal chart represents how you express love and affection. Venus represents your love language. It reveals how you express your approach to romance. Venus can demonstrate what you find attractive or appealing in people, places, and things. Venus can also demonstrate how you behave in relating to another, how you relate to other people. Venus influences your social interactions, as well as the way you form relationships or bonds with others. Venus reflects what you enjoy and how you go about seeking to indulge in life's delights. Venus represents the things you value in this life, things that hold importance to you, especially regarding material possessions and wealth, as well as your approach to money and material comfort. Libra is the 7th zodiac sign in the zodiacal wheel, therefore it rules over the 7th house. The 7th house is naturally ruled by Libra, or Venus. Now, with that being said, your 7th house may not naturally be ruled by Libra or Venus. Let's say you are Libra rising, therefore your first house would be ruled by Libra. Or you have your second house in Libra, therefore your second house would be ruled by Libra and Venus. Let's say you're Scorpio rising and your descendant, the opposite sign of Scorpio, is Taurus. Taurus is the other zodiac sign ruled by Venus, and there's only two, Libra and Taurus, both ruled by Venus. Okay, so opposite sign of your first house is your seventh house. Your seventh house is ruled by Taurus and Venus, not Libra and Venus. And Libra, which is right before Scorpio, Scorpio is the 8th sign, and Libra is the 7th sign in the zodiacal order, meaning your 12th house would be ruled by Libra, your 12th house would be ruled by Venus. Back to the 7th house. The 7th house is the house of other. It's the house of relation to another. It's the house of partnerships, whether it be platonic, business, or romantic. It is the mirror in which we see ourselves through others. So the 7th house represents marriage, contractual agreements, and business partnerships. The 7th house represents a change from the first house, which is personal objectives, to common objectives and understandings. Personality, they're very diplomatic. They have the ability to find middle ground and act as mediators or peacemakers within disputes or arguments. They're really good at calming situations and allowing others to see in other people's shoes. Libra is the queen and king of seeing in other people's shoes. Libras are fair-minded. They're always advocating for fairness and speaking up for injustice. They may not 10 out of 10 speak up for injustice because they are non-confrontational, but I'd say about 7 or 8 times out of 10, they will speak up for injustices. They don't stand for overpowering behaviors. They fight for equality and fairness. They aren't afraid to take up for people who are being treated unfairly. Libras are some of the most pleasant people in the zodiac. They're very charming and sociable, have the most pleasant company. They're very elegant in that way. They enjoy socializing and communicating with all kinds of different people about their personal lives. They can be a bit nosy in this sense. It's not that they're just plain nosy, it's because they have a genuine curiosity about people. They have a genuine interest in people, understanding how people think, how people operate. They enjoy learning about humans in general. A tip if you're a Libra and have got the reputation of being nosy, or someone has made you feel bad for being curious, or maybe you asked too many questions, somebody has said that or something, a tip would be before you ask a question, a personal question, ask, is it okay if I ask you something personal? Before asking the question just right off the top. People are more likely to respect that. Libras are quite the optimist as well. They see the good in people and situations, even when there seemingly isn't any. They are able to look for the best in people and situations. They are an air sign, and air signs are masculine. Fire signs are also masculine. So all the air and fire signs are masculine, and they tend to be more optimistic than earth and water signs. Libras are super artistically inclined. They have a keen understanding of what goes good together, what colors look good together, what patterns look good together. They're very aesthetically pleasing, their taste, their style. They know what goes good together. They have a natural eye for beauty, so they're very artistically inclined. They're able to find the perfect balance in styles, in fashion, in makeup. They make some of the most excellent makeup artists and fashion stylists and have this amazing keen eye for beauty and appeal. They have a sense of elegance to them, a sense of graciousness. Libras are super cooperative. They know how to work in teams, and they also know how to lead. They are a cardinal sign, so naturally they are very leader-oriented. They may not even try to be, they just naturally are. They're very ambitious, and they're really good at starting things. I'm not going to say they're that good at finishing things. I'm going to save that for the fixed signs. Cardinal signs are super good at initiating things and getting things going. They tend to be some of the best leaders there are, and a lot of cardinal signs are typically the first of something. Libras are super cooperative, they work very well in teams, and they are willing to compromise for the sake of harmony. A lot of people don't have this ability, but Libras do. Libras understand that common objectives, or like objectives for the whole, are more important than singular objectives. They understand that compromise is important for success. Libras have a tendency to be super indecisive, but it's because they're weighing all sides of everything. They can see so many different perspectives, if not every single perspective. They're seeing it all. And sometimes due to this ability to see all of these perspectives, they tend to be indecisive, because what will happen is they'll see all these different perspectives and not be able to commit to one because they're seeing the other and the other, to the point of exhaustion, even to where they'll be like, okay, well, I can't make a decision because I see it could go so many different ways and I'd rather just not decide at all. So that's one of their downfalls. Indecision can lead to not making a decision, and I want you guys to know that indecision is still a decision. You're deciding to not decide. Libras are non-confrontational. They prefer to avoid conflicts at all costs. They don't like rocking the boat. They want everything to be peaceful, harmonious, balanced, pleasant. It's because they're ruled by the planet Venus. So naturally they are these things. They have the ability to shake off whatever indifference or whatever negative thing that maybe they felt from another person. They have the ability to shake off negativity, and so that's what they would prefer to do. But I want you guys to know that you can become resentful of others if you're shaking off these negative things that bother you over and over. Only so many times can you do this before you explode. So it's important to address issues that are frequently occurring for the sake of peace, because that's what you desire, peace. And if that person doesn't like what you have to say, doesn't reconcile or see your perspective, then maybe that person isn't meant to be in your life. Maybe you were meant to teach them something, or maybe they were meant to teach you something, and that was it. They weren't there to last forever, and that's okay. Libras can be a bit dependent and also very people-pleasing. They value harmony so much so, and feel as if they can create that within themselves. They will neglect their own feelings, their own thoughts for the sake of harmony, for the sake of peace. But after this happens so many times, they'll start to feel like, oh, my opinion doesn't really matter, or my thoughts don't really matter. It's because they're being selfless, too much to the point to where it turns into self-neglect. And so it's important for Libras to be careful of this people-pleasing mentality in order to nurture the self and others at the same time. And you're very, very likable, authentically how you are. But sometimes it doesn't matter if someone likes you or not, because people are natural judges, and if you're nice all the time, someone somewhere is going to find that insulting. Libras are super cordial, super nice, and a lot of people may not even like that, because in the end, people like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. And it's all about energy. So like you go to a super intuitive person and you're like, hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. But really, you don't like them. But you want them to think that you like them to get them on your side, or to get as much information from them as possible, which happens a lot with Libra. Every Libra is different. These are just examples. So let's say this person's a Scorpio that you're asking them, and they're very intuitive, or maybe they have a lot of water placements and they're super, super psychically intuitive, and they can pick up on energies. They can feel your inauthenticity and energetically repelled by you. So it's all about authenticity and energy. Don't ask someone how they're feeling. If you really don't care, don't ask someone what they think if you really don't care. Be authentic. And I'm not saying you aren't. I'm just, I guess, trying to hype you up, because I know Libras struggle with authenticity, and it's because of their planetary ruler. It's because they want to be seen as someone who is worthy. And you are very worthy, regardless of how nice you are. You're worthy. And I just want to say that. I can't express that enough. Libras have super, super good manners. They're naturally super polite and gracious. More negative tendencies, and I kind of went over them a little bit just now, but some more negative tendencies are Libras tend to be a bit vain. They can come off as superficial. They may have an over focus on looks. Some of them may even never want to leave the house without looking good, without wearing makeup, without having their hair done. I'm not saying everyone's the same, but Libras do have a tendency to be superficial and vain and focus too much on looks. And looks can be deceiving. They may have like a bunch of beautiful friends, but their friends may all be superficial. I'm not saying this is the case. Again, these are examples. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Libras tend to be a bit indulgent. They may splurge on luxury or comfort excessively. They may overeat or oversleep or not do anything at all because it feels good, because they value things that feel good. That is a Venusian element of life that isn't practical way of life or productive. If you overindulge too much, you may be neglecting your health. So it's important for you Libras to find balance within the things that you love and within the things that you need. Libras can be super detached emotionally. Not only is this because they are an inanimate object, these scales, but also because they are an air sign. They're intellectual. They live in the mind. They don't operate on emotions like water signs do. They operate on the mental. So Libras can be detached emotionally because they live in their mind, not so much in their hearts. Logical, over emotional. And this can be a good thing or bad thing depending on the situation. How it could be bad is if they overthink their feelings, because this time over time does happen again. Libras tend to feel and then they try to think their way out of their feelings, when sometimes the best way out is in. To go inward with your feelings and to feel them and let them move through you as they should, as they would if it weren't for your big brain. Libras tend to be also overly idealistic and have super high expectations. So Libras are naturally thoughtful, caring, considerate. They're very considerate of other people, how another person would feel. They're very thoughtful with their words before they say them. They're very diplomatic and tactful. They take into consideration how another person would feel. They crave positive social interactions. They want to be this positive influence. So sometimes, because they are that way, they may expect the same in return. And that isn't always the case. Some people are tactless. Some people are blunt and outspoken, super ego driven and selfish. Not everyone is the same as Libra, and so their expectations can be super high in regard to how people should be. Libra can also be super avoidant when it comes to feelings. They don't like rocking the boat. They want everything to be perfect. Because in a perfect Venusian world, we're all loving, we're all romantic, we're all having a great time, we're all attractive and appealing. But that's not how our Earth really is. I mean, we have Mars and we have Saturn and Pluto. It's not just Venus. They can tend to be avoidant of the darker side of life, dark feelings, dark thoughts, dark people. And it doesn't even have to be dark. They can just be avoidant of anything that doesn't feel good. So like avoidant of exercise, because why do that? It doesn't feel good, but it really does. But you know what I mean? Like they could be avoidant of certain things that don't feel good to them. And I don't believe that Libra is all like this. This is a spectrum, and this video is simply meant for information. This isn't supposed to be like, you're like this. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be informative to help others gain awareness of the difficulties of being a Libra, because it is. The Libra sun is in fall here. It is the most hardest sun sign to have other than Aquarius and Capricorn. It's really challenging. Libras have a tendency to be flirtatious and unfaithful in relationships. A lot of people take Libra's kindness as if they're flirting with them, and yes, sometimes that is true, then other times it's not. Other times it's just, they're just nice and they are thoughtful and they care about people. Worst case scenario, Libras are cheaters. Some Libras can be super lustful. Like I said about being superficial and having an over focus on looks, they can tend to see a pretty person and want to be in their life just because they look good. Not because they are good, just because they look good. If you don't like someone, why entertain them? Like, that's not very nice. Ironically, Libra may be the epitome of the scales of balance, but how do you think they got that reputation? Well, being Libra requires being jerked around into conforming to society, into conforming to very, very unpleasant people, situations, and environments. Libras don't like conflict because they either simply weren't taught how to handle it, or because growing up, that's all that they knew was conflict. and so they don't like it. This conflict forces Libra to be more logical than emotional, which reflects the air sign nature of the sign. Libras require these tough situations in order to gain their balance that they're reputed by. That's their life's mission, is to learn how to balance self and other, to learn how to be more decisive, more selfish even, more self-oriented, discovering yourself through other people, seeing other people and knowing that you don't want to be like them, or maybe you do want to be like them. Discovering yourself through other people, allowing other people to be the mirror to your self-discovery. Learning to be more confrontational, addressing issues that need addressing, being more decisive, and just going with something. Just pick something. It doesn't matter. Just pick it. You'll learn regardless of if you made the right decision or not in the end. It doesn't matter if you're making the right decision or not in the moment, because you'll learn in the end. And you'll gain knowledge from the experience. So it's important to decide. And decision is still a decision. So learn how to love yourself without the makeup. Love yourself with even the darkest parts of you. And accept them and move through your emotions. Emotionally, not intellectually. Learn to balance luxury and comfort with the discipline and structure. And know that no one is perfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. And that's the beauty of life. If everything was perfect, life wouldn't be worth living. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video resonated or helped. I hope you found this video insightful, and I hope you come back for more. If you'd like to see more content from me, please don't forget to subscribe. I love you, and I hope you have a blessed week and year ahead. Bye, beautiful souls.